78 Sports TV here. Salute to the mighty LDBC. And today with me, I got special guest, my brother Eli Zachary, to talk to us about how he got into these dogs. What's up, brother Eli?
What's going on? What's going on, fam?
Man, same old shit, man. Same old shit, man. But you've been a fan favorite on the panel, the Game Dog Talk, and so I definitely want to give you some standalone time to give people a little more background about yourself.
Most definitely, most definitely. I appreciate everybody, shit, staying in tune and just appreciating the info that I'm able to give, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So first, let the people know, man. How'd you get into the dogs?
Man, honestly, I got into dogs because I was scared of dogs. I used to be terrified of dogs. My uncle used to have a big ass black pit bull named Midnight that he used to chase me with. Matter of fact, my uncle did everything that I was scared of. He used to do to me, and that was one of the things. And he had the dogs, and like shit, I was always kind of like looking at him like I was always like drawn to him. I was like, damn. Then I moved and my stepbrother, he had dogs, and everybody in the neighborhood used to be walking the dog, and I was scared of them. And I just refused to stay scared of the dog. So I asked my mama to get me a puppy one time, and I got a little puppy, and then it was just all downhill from there. I just like fell in love with the dogs and started messing with them, like the big male that's gonna be featured on the cover. That was my male named Matt. He was probably the most well-rounded dog that I ever had, but he was the influence to really getting into game dogs because everybody was telling me what a game dog was because he was so bad and he acted so good. So that's how I really got into dogs, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And what bloodlines did you specialize in, or what bloodlines did you have?
I love the snooty balls, the shady lady home stuff, and I had some old like Lepace's cotton bullet stuff
Mm-hmm.
mixed with some old Bama red snooty spike stuff. So those were the bloodlines that I pretty much stayed with. I had a Maverick Black Jack cross that I added in at one point. So those are bloodlines that I really stayed with.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And what were some of your favorite dogs that you own?
Let's see. That's hard. My favorite dog that I owned was the old dog that was just he was just to me what we call an old newspaper dog, old dog from around the local ads and stuff. But he was from my neighborhood. He was old alligator, Serona red nose, old family red nose, and some old Eli stuff that had been thrown together for years with a little bit of staff in him. He was my buddy, and he was the dog that influenced me to get into dogs. My favorite game dog I had, oh, it'll probably be between, damn, well, I just named four of them. I had my Fanny bitch who I really liked, that was real skilled, real fast, real good athlete, had a nice drive to her. And she was some shady lady snooty stuff. Uh, my Kahlua bitch, extreme drive, great on the weight pull track, man. But I got some nice trophies from her weight pulling and confirmation. She did good in both of those confirmation and weight pull. Extremely easy to put into shape. Just so much drive. She would work all day long, And then my buddy 2.0 mil, he was the culmination of everything that I was putting together. He just kind of brought it all together. And then last, it would be my Flojo bitch, because everything I bred her to, she produced, and she was just a strong, solid, just mean ass dog. And she was an old school dog that when I say strong, she was 49 pounds, but she can out pull 80-pound dogs in weight
Right.
pull. Yeah.
What was her blood looking like?
She was Bama red, with the old Hittrick Colby Lightning crosses and the Cotton Bullet. That
Right.
old family, old North Carolina family, bred together with some old Texas dogs. Yeah.
No doubt. No doubt. And what would you say was the some of the best dogs you ever seen that you didn't own?
Hmm. Man, that's that's a hell. I would say There was some nice carver crosses, old banjo carver with the old Bolio spunk dogs, and then let's see, that was another banjo cross. Some of the carver dogs, the banjo dogs with the crosses, with the Eli and Bolio crosses, were some of the best ones that I ever seen. And a lot of the dogs that were more old school bred that were on private yards that a lot of people wouldn't know. Old Midnight Cowboy and Homer crosses were some of the better dogs that I seen.
Right, right. Okay. And who would you say was some of your mentors in the game, like coming into it?
Coming into the game, I honestly got online a lot, and I would just research, and I asked so many questions. I had an old meal maker that he was an old carpet meal maker. I ain't gonna say his name right now because I didn't get his permission. I ain't talked to him in a
Right,
long time, but he was an old carpet meal maker. He was my mentor. He showed me my first keep. Not only did he show me my first keep, he showed me you know how to use the mill and how to work through the mill. Gave me one of my first dogs. Uh, Outside of him, the other people were more influential. I can say TDK because I've seen him online and everything. He was more influential when it came to breeding. When it came to breeding, I didn't know nobody that had a family longer and that was cleaner bred and that had put together uh, uh, so much consistency. And then he knew how to tell me what I wanted to hear, what in an intelligent way, but without trying to just completely outsmart me or call me a dumbass at the time. So it was kind of like most times when you're young and you come in, shit. Most of these old dog men they kind of tell you something in a way where you don't know shit, but it wasn't that way with him. He kind of broke it down to me. So he was real influential with me. Not really a mentor, but I guess you could say influential. And
right.
let me see who else. It was another guy that had some old Deacon Red Boy stuff. I wouldn't know what name to call him. I just knew him from the chat rooms and stuff. But he always pushed me to know my meds and to know to be more self sufficient. And a lot of times that's what you get from guys. They're not self sufficient. You know, when something happened is when they try to get ready. He would push me to be ready at all times, to know my meds, to know all my different symptoms and different things that could go on with an animal. Not only that, just being objective. A lot of people are not objective in dogs and stuff, and he would push me to be objective. If he heard me say something that was just an opinion or just guessing, he'll just, hey, look, you guessing at that. So it made me that, like I was saying yesterday on the show, it made me tell everybody, hey, don't just take what I say
Right.
for gold. Go figure that shit out. So that's why I got that type of mentality where people should be like, hey, what you know about this? Well, let me go look it up. Let me go see. Let me think about it if I don't know. But I don't want to tell nobody something that I really don't know. So that came from him. Different people influence me in dogs in different areas. When it comes to being competitive, the guys that influenced me to being the most competitive were guys that they probably had better dogs with the upper echelon of guys that will never be heard of. So I really won't say their name either. They was more private guy, but it was those type of people that influenced me. I really didn't have a single mentor outside of the meal maker, but like I say, TDK as far as breeding, the other guy as far as meds that had the old Deacon blood, you know, they influenced me in all different aspects.
Yes, indeed. And what would you say? Like, would you say was your like specialty in these dogs? Would it be breeding? Some people would be handling. Some people would say conditioning. What would be your you say your specialty with the dogs?
My honestly, my specialty, I think everybody that has heard me talk, they know what I like the most was conditioning and feed, nutrition.
Right.
I came into dogs getting into the confirmation rings and weight pulling and everything. And so conditioning and feeding were big to me. And I learned more and more about that. So, yeah, that would be my specialty.
Yes, sir. Now let's talk about the some of the shady parts of the dog game. A topic that always come up and I always ask people about this.
Hmm.
when I interview them because I want to, it's different perspectives on it. But how you feel
I got
about
you.
paper hanging uh, in these dogs? You know what I mean? We all know it happened a lot back in the day, and you can't really prove. They got stuff like Maurice Carver was notorious for paper hanging. People say that Pat Patrick did. They say others
Hmm.
did too. But how prevalent do you think that is still today? And what's your thoughts on paper hanging over in general?
I think my thoughts on paper hanging in general. I just thought that is shit. It's some bullshit. It's it just throw the dogs off, and overall, that's what it was meant for. It's people that want the edge by any means, that's gonna try to keep the edge by any means, or people that's looking for a dollar by any means, but they not looking at the dogs. When they doing stuff like that, it ain't about the dogs. Like if I breed a good dog and I give you a dog, I'm tell you exactly how it's bred, because I want to see the evolution of those dogs going forward. But other people, they look like shit. They want to be the only ones with the recipe. They want to be the only ones to have it. If that's the case, just keep the shit to yourself.
Right,
That's how I view that. Paper hanging in dogs is always been a part of it, and it's always going to be a part of it. If you ask me, just because you always going to have that element that's going to want to keep that edge. Like we always say in the LWC, and we're not monolithic. And the
right,
same thing goes for the dog community. Everybody ain't the same. You're gonna have all kind of different characters that come into the community. You want from all different walks of life, races, everywhere. You're gonna have all different types of people. And the biggest thing about it, that like I seen guys that were just no more than puppy pellets. That's all they cared about, was pelling a few puppies. Hopefully they bred a couple good ones out of that litter after they put the pedigrees together, and you'll come back for another one.
right.
And at the end all be all, well, they were just selling you a piece of paper to go with a dog that they hope worked out for you. If it did, it did. If it didn't, it didn't. They had their money. They had their few bucks. And I seen them tell people that, and people was fine with it and was okay with it. That's the crazy part about it. And I seen the same type of shit where a guy goes and puts his hard work together and sells the dog to another guy, and all of a sudden, shit, you ask that guy, hey, what happened to the dog? Oh man, he died. But damn, your whole yard just started looking like that dog. But they look, wait a minute, they papers are different. That's
Right,
how that shit goes.
right,
The whole paperwork change up, and all your dogs were like schoolboy was saying, all your dogs are black. Now they all of a sudden red and gold buckskin. Like,
right.
right? Oh, we see them spotted dogs now. All of a sudden, now we see all these spotted dogs on your yard. Shit like that, man. It happened in the dogs for real a lot. Everybody want credit for something, you know. It happened in the dogs a lot. Paper hanging some shit, but like I say, that's why you got to get to know the people. That's why you can't just take people word for everything. Hey, get to know who you getting a dog from, because the man behind the dog is what's gonna make the biggest difference.
Yes, indeed. So, how do you feel about? And this is like related to that question. How you feel about the
Hmm.
new trend, the new push for like DNA profiling your dogs?
I like it. I like it. I like it to a degree. I like it because if they DNA profile, it gives you something to go back to outside of the paperwork.
Right.
The only thing that I really necessarily don't like about it is who's in control of the DNA.
Hmm.
Because it's kind of the same thing as identity theft and all that type of shit. Who will sell your information? Who will give you information? You know. So if if the right people have the DNA profiles, then I'm cool. If you got your own vet that been DNA profiling for a long time, and you got your own personal deal with them, that's cool. I like that. But going through some of these registries that are just trying to get money, and that are a business, and that you know all of this, all the other stuff, the politics and everything get involved with. That's not where I want to keep my. That's not where I want to keep my DNA. My paperwork with them is fine because I love doing the shows and everything. I love supporting the community and all that. But as far as my DNA, like that's like your direct identity link. You don't really want to just have anybody holding on to that and saying, "Oh, this is legit and that's legit." You want to have your people that you know. So I would say if you got a vet or a vet in your area or a semen collection bank that you know of that's reputable, use them and make sure you have control of your own profiles.
Most definitely, most definitely. Okay, let's talk about some of the history of the breed. As far as we all know that these dogs was once used for matching, and
Hmm.
uh, there was a lot of complaints. You always used to hear these stories about the cheating that went on in the box. So,
Hmm.
and there was a lot of people that was accused of being cheated. A lot of legendary dog men accused of being cheaters. But what's some of the stories you heard, and how do you feel about that overall cheating in the box? And
And
let me get one more specific. I should have got
hmm.
more specific. How do you feel about because some people will say, like how we talked about on Game Dog Talk, some people say like,
Hmm.
hey, that's just being competition, blowing in the dog's ear, woo woo. Some people say, um, doing performing little tricky little handles and stuff. If you don't know the rules, they should be able to do what they gotta do. Some people feel like performance enhancement drugs in your dog is cheating. Other
Hmm.
people feel like it's not. So that's what I mean, basically.
Okay, I appreciate you put it there. This is how I feel about it. Being able to handle and knowing the rules and pushing those bounds, that shit is kind of is part of it. But when you start to get real dirty and you start to do stuff like to affect the other one, like that's like I putting pins in the area and throwing meat down in the area where you know that another one gonna be, so they can pick it up and eat it and be off weight, or putting little pellets, rat poison pellets or some shit in it, dumping it along the trail where you know they probably gonna walk and shit like that. So when y'all get ready to start the competition, that this one off and sick and shit like that, when you start to physically mess with the other animal, I think that's dirty and that's out of bounds right there. I ain't blowing in nobody animal's ears. That's dropping pins and spitting BBs. I done heard shit like that. Motherfucker having BBs in their mouth, and as they talking, they dropping BBs in the ear and shit.
Wow.
As they talking, yeah, get some dirty ass shit. So the animal's shaking his damn ear and shit, then shaking his head, trying to get the BBs out of noise and shit.
Right.
Shit like that. Like that's one thing. Making a damn good handle to make one go off the side of that shit is smooth. That's smooth. That's that shows the level you are as a handler. But I just it's a fine line. And me myself, I would prefer to just mess with people that were back in the day that were on the same level as I. They just wanted to know what they had, and I wanted to know what I had. And win, lose, or draw had, we gonna eat after and take care of each other animals if we have to, and just make sure each other was in the best hospitable environment. I prefer those type of people, and that's the thing that pushed me away, because when it get to getting too much of all the riffraff and bullshit that's going on, like that shit, like I can't deal with those type of people, man. That's not my scene right there. So nah, that definitely the dirtiness is a part of it, but I think you should know uh, uh, who you competing against, who you actually messing with, who you standing across from. And I think like Bone said, after you done talk to everybody with respect for so long, and y'all done develop that kind of relationship over time leading up, then y'all should know who each other are. You should know what you're expecting, and you should be able to call somebody. This is a small world. You should be able to call somebody and check on. You know,
Right.
when you go to the shows and stuff, when you go to the shows and you doing what you do, when you go to the shows and you doing what you do, okay, I see this person all the time. They see this person all the time. Y'all cook out together and y'all eat together. Y'all kids may run around and play and hold the ribbon and trophies and show the dogs in the show ring together. So y'all kind of may get to know each other from somewhere else. So yeah, that I think that's bullshit. Now on the end of enhancements and all that, it's kind of like horses and greyhounds and all that thing. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. It's kind of I equate it to a lot to like muscle cars. If you know how to hook up a nice nitro setup on a muscle car, then shit, you gonna hook up a nitro set on a muscle car. If you know how to hook up a turbo setup on a muscle car, you can hook up a turbo setup on a muscle car. If you know how to build all motor and build the highest compression stroker or engine that you can possibly put together, or a supercharged engine, that's what you're gonna run out of all four of those three things.
Right.
Somebody might say the just motor, all motor cars are all natural. Well, shit, hell, when the competition is said, they say run what you brung. If you can't run what you brung to the fullest extent and you can't compete, then don't bring
Right. Right.
it. I
Understood.
mean, that's the easiest way that I can explain it. It's not it's not such a thing as cheating in that aspect of that part of the game. If you can't run what you brung and you don't understand what's going on and you don't understand how, do your best. Because at the end of the day, that shit not gonna make a difference. Guess what? It's faults and flaws that come with all of that stuff too. You got people that like the blow a piston that's gonna blow hot. You know, you got people that's not gonna know what they're doing. That's gonna use too much and blow their whole engine out. It, you can't worry about that type of shit.
Right.
You know, you can't worry about that type of stuff. You just got to be on point yourself. You know, the best keeps I put together natural keeps. I ain't even lie. The best keeps I put together with natural keeps, smooth. I knew I worked and developed and got on the same page as my dog. I watched them. I knew when they was gonna recover. I knew when they was gonna be at the top to the bottom of their decline. I can see it. Okay. I know I got 1 minute. I got 20 seconds, and I'll recover. Let me shit. Let me get myself in position. Let me get myself ready. Let me get a handle. Let me do what I need to do to get you control. Okay. Hey, we're gonna go off to the side. We're gonna get this little rest. Once we get this little rest, hey, guess what? We good for another 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Cause I know what the set was like when I was conditioning. I didn't work my dog on a meal and just walk away and eat cornflakes and shit and drink a beer and let the motherfucker sit on the goddamn meal, half ass dragging about ready to kill itself. You know, I did the work and developed the dog, and I didn't just work the dog with my ego. So a lot of times if people had done that, they didn't give a fuck what you brought. They didn't give a fuck what you was on, what you was doing, because they knew they had did the work. The only person that's complaining is somebody that ain't never did the work or that's scared that they ain't got enough work in the end.
Indeed. Yeah. Good stuff. And also, while I got you on here, can you
Hmm.
clear up a misconception? You know what I'm saying? I was talking to somebody about this a little while ago, but there's a misconception out there that if a dog took performance enhancement drugs while he was campaigning, then he's unable to breed. Can you explain to people about? I mean, you don't got to go into
Yeah,
exactly
yeah.
the drugs, but can you explain to people about post psychotherapy and how you can recover a dog from that stuff?
Well, that's the whole thing. A lot of people, we were saying about people, and it's just not that's just not dogs. I learned this about bodybuilding, so that's all the way around. When you get in shape, when you body around the bodybuilding and all that, people teach you all kind of little secrets.
Right,
So that's the whole thing. When you going into something, you don't know what the hell you're doing, and you just go in there and you take somebody's word at it. You don't read, you don't understand what you're putting into a dog's body. It's math. It'll be you got a 50 gram millimeter milligrams, 50 milligrams of whatever enhancer that you're using per cc. Okay, if you got 50 milligrams per cc or whatever you're using, the math might say zero point 0.1 milligrams per pound. You don't know what the hell you're doing. You just go run a cc and you put 50 on it, and of this particular what you call it, you gave two times what you needed. So
right,
you killed the reproductive endocrine system. You killed their system because you didn't know what the hell you was doing. Then not only did you give them way too much for the time span, you didn't understand half lives. None of that stuff. Like
Hmm.
this stuff for y'all to read about and try to figure out. I'm not gonna tell y'all everything because I'm not promoting it, but
Right.
this stuff for y'all to read. The half life. What's that per pound milligrams? What's that? Doing the math before you just go give something to your animal. Then making sure you got the right shit when you come off the post estrogen blockers and everything to get them back to producing their own testosterone. If you don't do that, you're shutting down their system. If their system don't know to produce this naturally anymore, and you're not blocking out the estrogens that you done built up uh, uh, with all your enhancers, then you're not giving the dog the right post care that it needs. You need the right thing. You need to have the right medicines for post psychotherapy. PC is PCT.
Absolutely.
Look it up, read, and y'all figure it out. And a lot of times that's the problem. What happens is people, animals, whatever is being utilized that they don't do the right therapy, and then they think, oh shit, what's going on? We got so many hormones in our food right now. We have so much estrogen in our body. We having trouble reproducing because of the same thing. So y'all need to kind of look at these things. Even older men are starting to use tribulus and stuff like that as a well, I just gave y'all one.
Right.
And started use frivolous, to help boost the testosterone level and that's the issue. You know, y'all got to start looking into those things, looking into the right feed and everything to go along with them. I'll give you something else, a little ester C, and making sure your vitamin D and calcium is right too. All of that plays a part, but you gotta look into it. I hate to tell somebody everything and they don't never learn nothing for themselves because they won't do it. But most definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. That's I love that topic because, like I say, it's a lot of people who like you. I learned about it from bodybuilding and stuff like that. I had a
Hmm.
uncle and a homeboy uh, that was heavy in the bodybuilding, and my homeboy actually used to manufacture and produce performance enhancement drugs and shit. He would order all the raw material and shit. So he I just picking his brain and reading the same books he
Hmm.
was reading and stuff. I learned about that real young, but
Hmm.
you know, yeah, you definitely just because the dog was on steroids don't mean that dog don't have no puppies on the ground or he couldn't breathe because he's on steroids. That's a myth. A lot of people out there know what they're doing. They know how to recover, bring that dog back. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And they just ain't sharing that information with you because they don't want you to know. They
Hmm.
want you to fuck your dog up. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know, you don't
Yeah.
know. You know?
Most people think more means more. No, it
Right.
don't. More can be very, 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 very bad. And then
Absolutely.
that whole thing, like you said, most people that's their competitive edge. Not only that, if most of y'all got to realize that some of the medicines that y'all get from y'all vets are those things that you consider enhancers that you may never even actually know. Not most, but some for different. That's what they were for different reasons. Whether it's your dog is recovering from a bad lung infection or something, or a bad eye infection, or their system is shut down in some type of way where they have to use this to boost it. That's like where it's from. Or you got an older dog that's got a lot of muscle loss or genetic muscle loss, not even necessarily an older dog. They may use this to boost his system to see if it'll make his system start to come back into play. You know, that's where it really comes from, and a lot of people just start to use it as this way. You know, but
It's
it's utilized in medicine too.
all
Mhm.
facts. All facts. And what would you say? I don't even know if I'm gonna ask you this one, but you ain't got to name no names or nothing. But because if you ain't talked to the people, but what would you say was the most competitive match you ever seen?
Hmm. I would say I was real young. I was fucking real, real, real young. But it came back. It came into my memory. That was back when anybody would do it. But there was two Soros animal and a Carver animal. You know, and one was real super super shy, and The other one just was like lights out fast, big teeth, big, strong animal. And it just looked like the Soros animal was miles ahead. But I was like, damn, but this other one ain't going nowhere, and it just don't look like it. It just don't look like it's in it, but it is not going nowhere. But slowly but surely, the handler kept talking to him. He kept chipping away, and then bam! Next thing you know, shit. 3 flats later, hey, the Carver Milner came back up to the top, and it's over. It's over. I'm like, what the hell just happened? This
Right.
motherfucker had a 10. This motherfucker had a 10 mouth, was shy as shit, but his owner had took the time with him and took and talked him through that shit and did a damn good job handling and pulled it off. And that was a that I think both of them were first time outs. I seen that Carver Mill go for a champion too and lose his champion to a damn good I guess I can say this, Vietnam Kennel Boys Mill off of, down from Spike. I seen him lose. I seen that Carver Mill lose to him.
Right. Yes, sir. And what would you say, in your opinion, is the most important attribute for a bulldog to have?
Poise. I like poise and smarts, but like poise that it's the same thing with a boxer. When I look at boxers, I like that about boxing. Like shit, we just watched Errol Spence. I like that when Errol got knocked into the ropes. Oh shit, I'm coming right back and get my leg back. I got you. Don't worry about it. And I'm not all wild and all out of place. When Derek told him in the corner, hey, look, say you got to calm down, pick the shots, and put. Okay, let me recompose myself. I'm good. That's poise for me. When you're in the heat of the moment and you can stay focused and stay sharp, like that's big, and that's big in the bulldog. And that's that to me. That that's the biggest attribute that I look for is poise in a bulldog. That's the biggest attribute.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, brother Eli, I want to thank you for your time, man. You know what I'm saying? We've been trying to put this one together for a minute, but shit, we got it done. Got it done, man. And shit, man, we'll be back on Game Dog Talk. Um,
Most definitely.
most definitely this weekend, probably next Sunday. We'll be back. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna drop this video tomorrow. Any last words for the people, Eli?
Man, y'all stay sharp. Enjoy y'all dogs. Enjoy y'all animals, man. Do right by y'all animals. I'm not here to promote any illegal activity or anything like that. So don't call. Don't try to call me and ask me. Email me, ask me anything illegal. If you ask me for information about conditioning your dog for confirmation shows, and you just asking general nutrition or health questions, like if you got a health problem with a puppy or a dog and you need somebody to help you out, I'll help you out. Just hit the community page, drop your question, and I'll find it and I'll get back to you. Beyond that, man, hey, y'all be easy. Enjoy your dogs, man.
Yes, sir, man. Catch y'all on Game Dog Talk. Peace.
Salute.